The price of freedom. I met them at a relief camp. Some time ago, they had been living a happy and prosperous life, but then the fire of chaos reached their homes. Now, not a single house in their settlement was safe. Uncle Oklak had young daughters, and along with freedom, he was deeply worried about the honor of his young girls, an honor that, in such circumstances, is often put at stake. Uncle Oklak dealt in Kashmiri shawls. He was a respectable man with an excellent reputation. His business extended beyond the country. He often sent rare and beautiful Kashmiri handcrafted shawls to London and America. In this way, the family was financially well off. They lacked nothing. But as soon as the flame of freedom was lit, the fire of oppression engulfed the entire valley. Poor Kashmiri craftsmen, unmatched in household handicrafts and embroidery, were left destitute as the situation in the valley deteriorated. Their business centers were destroyed. They became unemployed because all work came to a halt. Uncle Oklak had two daughters. One was named Gul Sanabar, the other Gul Lala. I was friends with Gul Lala. She was younger than her brother Ali Murad. All three were born on the beautiful land of Kashmir. Their ancestral home stood amid the green meadows of the valley, where for years a bloodbath had been ongoing. This bloodshed had become the destiny of the valley. In those days, Gul Lala had passed her matriculation examination and had become busy with household work, while Gul Sanabar was still studying. When conditions in the valley worsened further, she stopped going to school because schools were frequently closed. People, out of fear, stopped sending their daughters to school, afraid that subversive elements might abduct them, dishonor them, and kill them. Murad, even then, was not very sensible. Raised with love and indulgence, he was quite careless and irresponsible. When the valley was peaceful, he often went to watch movies with his friends. This pastime made his temperament unserious. He did not watch films for entertainment alone. Rather, the immodest clothing, romantic scenes, boldness, and obscenity in films were what attracted him. Because of this, he was constantly immersed in a romantic atmosphere and found pleasure in that intoxication, as if he used films as an escape from the harsh realities and grave circumstances around him. In contrast, his cousin Khalid was a brave, serious, and perceptive young man. He fully understood the gravity of the situation in the valley. Whenever Khalid came, he would say to Murad, "Murad, wake up and come to your senses. Very bad times lie ahead for us. We cannot sit peacefully until we gain freedom. And freedom is a priceless thing. It cannot be achieved without paying a heavy price. We must prepare ourselves to face these circumstances. We may even have to sacrifice our lives." Murad was an innocent boy. His thoughts were not very deep. He took Khalid's words lightly. He knew that the movement had taken shape in the valley and that people were making sacrifices relentlessly. These young men believed that if oppression existed, then one day its darkness would surely lift and the bright sun of peace would rise. He did not think that he had two young sisters at home. If the beasts of war set their eyes on his house, these pure buds could one day be mercilessly crushed under their boots. What father or brother could bear to witness such a horrific sight? Day by day, the fire of hatred was intensifying. Many families had already been burned. The stench of human corpses was igniting the fire of honor in the hearts of the living and terrified people. Now, such discussions had also begun in this household. Something had to be done for self-defense. To protect the roof over their heads and the honor of their family, they would have to stand firm. The fire would reach them too. Now, changes had to be made in daily life. Men would have to join the ranks of the fighters. Women would have to support their brave men and show patience. Otherwise, nothing would remain. Forget freedom. They would lose even their homes and honor. When Uncle Oklak's family sat together, these very fears about the future dominated their conversations. For this reason, Khalid joined the fighters. Murad thought that he should bid farewell to his carefree group of friends, recognize his responsibilities, and join this movement. Day and night, firing, the rattling of bullets, house searches. These were terrifying realities before his eyes, and at any moment his own household could fall victim. Gul Sanabar was engaged to her cousin Khalid. She loved her fiancé deeply, and Khalid was worthy of love. He was virtuous in every respect. Uncle Akhlaq wanted Sanabar to be married as soon as possible so that he would be relieved of the responsibility of one daughter. He had urged Khalid's father many times. They too wished for Sanabar to become their daughter-in-law soon, but they delayed setting a wedding date because Khalid's sympathies now lay with the Kashmiri youth who demanded a plebiscite. Because of this, they had fallen under suspicion, and their houses were searched. They could be killed at any time. Murad, on the other hand, belonged to a careless group of youths. They could, in any case, harm his newly married sister. Indian soldiers had questioned Murad once or twice and were satisfied that he was not involved in the freedom struggle or any movement. Yet the entire valley's environment had become such that danger loomed over every house at all times. Every home appeared suspicious, whether its sympathies lay with the freedom movement or not. One day, the neighborhood where Uncle Akhlaq lived was again cordoned off. Murad was at home. Along with another local youth, he was taken away. Some youths were taken to unknown locations,
while Murad was beaten and thrown onto the road. Now the alarm bells rang loudly in Uncle Akhlaq's house. Their condition was pitiable. He immediately called Khalid's father and said, "Brother, please take my daughter's farewell quickly. She is your trust. Something might happen. I am now incapable of protecting your trust. Here, we have all become suspects, whether involved or not. Their boots have already measured the path to our home. Any unforeseen calamity could strike us at any moment." Seeing his brother-in-law so distressed, Walid Sahib fixed the wedding date. Quietly, preparations began in both households. Now they awaited Khalid. When Murad had been beaten without reason, a new resolve and new thoughts arose in Khalid's heart. He formed a new group of frightened young men whose mission was to protect the honor of Kashmiri mothers, sisters, and daughters by sacrificing their own lives. Even his family was unaware of this. These youths did not let their determination be known at home and went into hiding for some time. The family worried about Khalid and waited for his return. They decided to keep all arrangements ready and to solemnize his marriage with Sanabar as soon as he arrived. One of Khalid's friends informed the family that he would return the following Monday evening. The family fixed the nikah for that same day and arranged for the qazi. A day before the wedding, some uniformed men came to Uncle Akhlaq's house and asked questions about Khalid, where he was, what his whereabouts were. The family had no idea. The men then searched the house, and their eyes fell upon the most precious things in it: Gul Lala and Gul Sanabar, who had hidden themselves under shawls. They locked Uncle Akhlaq and Murad in a room and pulled the shawls off the girls' heads. At that moment, some of Khalid's companions arrived nearby. They understood that under the pretext of a search, certain elements were inside. Hearing the girls' screams, they could not stop themselves. Heavy-booted men had surrounded the weak, trembling girls. The youths could not bear this. They stepped forward to stop those hands from reaching the girls. When they were struck with rifle butts, they attacked back, despite being unarmed. It seemed they no longer cared for their own lives while protecting their sister's honor. One of the youths opened the door of the room where Uncle Akhlaq and Murad were locked. They came out as well. Hearing the commotion, some neighborhood youths also came out. One of them made a phone call, and soon some fighters arrived to help. When the number of locals increased, the armed men who had entered the house under the pretext of a search injured the Kashmiri youths and fled in their jeeps. Now Murad realized that this was the doomsday moment Khalid had always warned him about. He felt the gravity of the situation. Foreign men's merciless hands had pulled off his sister's shawls and violated them under the pretense of a search. Murad's eyes were bloodshot. He swore that he would also join this group, tie a shroud around his head, and fulfill the duty of protecting the honor of his valley's mothers and sisters. The next day was Sanabar's Mendi ceremony, and they awaited Khalid. A message came from her uncle's house that Khalid had arrived. The Mendi was performed, though the bride wept as henna was applied to her hands, because a bride does not look like a bride without henna. But today, fear thundered in the parents' hearts. No one in the house slept all night. Oh God, what kind of wedding was this, and what kind of omen? Instead of a constellation of happiness, mysterious shadows of fear crawled along the walls. Was this a wedding house, or a place haunted by death? By God's grace, the night passed. The next day, the groom's father arrived with a few friends of his son, bringing the bridal procession. Sanabar was dressed as a bride, for her groom was to come and take her. He did not come openly with the procession because that would make arrest easy. Even 4 people walking together were suspicious. Khalid did not wear wedding clothes. He wore old clothes, placed a basket on his head, disguised himself as a vegetable vendor, and walked toward the bride's house. He knew spies might be following him. His heart pounded with fear of being caught. Suddenly, a loud explosion occurred, and firing started from one side. Heavy jeeps surrounded him in moments and took him away. This arrest happened only a few furlongs from the bride's house. Hearing the explosion, Murad came out. When he saw Khalid surrounded by soldiers, he rushed forward to rescue him. They beat him as well, threw him onto the road, and left. Sanabar's heart began to fail from shock. She was struck numb by grief. Khalid's father, Uncle Aklak, and his wife were in an unspeakable state. Sanabar and Lala were devastated, crying until they lost their senses. The house turned into a place of mourning. Where wedding music should have played, horrifying screams echoed everywhere. They tortured Khalid and his companions severely, trying to extract information. These were torments that would make mothers collapse just by imagining them. Sanabar was in shock, and Gul Lala remained unconscious. Seeing his sister's condition, tears of blood flowed from Murad's eyes. Late at night, the men of the house went searching for Khalid and found his battered body near thorny bushes, lying naked in severe cold. The oppressors had left him, thinking he was dead. But God had not yet destined his death. When Murad and Uncle Aklak lifted him, they realized life still remained. They wrapped him in warm clothes and brought him home. They cared for him all night. A Muslim doctor nearby was called and requested to provide treatment. By morning, Khalid regained consciousness, but he was in such pain that he could not speak. After a month of care, he was barely able to walk. Suddenly, one day, one of his friends came and told them that the search party had gone to his house again, and this time had eliminated his elderly parents. Khalid's body trembled with rage, but he was unable to stop those cruel hands because he had become disabled. Sanabar's mother, upon hearing of her brother Walid and his wife's martyrdom, began to beat her head against the walls. Khalid, in a broken voice, urged her to be patient. Murad said, "Brother Khalid, now I will take your place. I will avenge the deaths of my uncle and aunt." "No," Khalid said, "you will not take revenge. You must only protect your sisters." One day Murad said, "Mother, prepare Sanabar as a bride. I will bring the Qazi today and have her married to Brother Khalid. He has become disabled. So what? I will be his support." Crossing rivers of fire, that moment finally came when Khalid and Sanabar were married and bound in matrimony. Khalid's parents were not destined to see his wedding crown, which caused him deep sorrow. Those who should have given him blessings on this important occasion were no longer alive. Now Khalid and Murad dreamed of freedom day and night. They could not stop helping the oppressed. Their mission continued. One day, when Murad went out, he did not return. When he was brought back, he too was disabled. Both his legs were broken. Now there were 2 disabled men in the house, while the entire burden of support fell upon Uncle Aklak's aging shoulders. His business had long since collapsed. He was forced to sell his property at throwaway prices and seek refuge across the border, because he also had 2 young daughters. The worry of protecting their honor gnawed at him like termites. When they reached the border of Azad Kashmir to migrate, a bullet whistled from the occupied valley and struck Uncle Aklak, dropping him on the spot. Gunfire continued until both disabled youths, Murad and Khalid, met their creator. Their blood scattered on the border. From that refugee family, the shadow of men was lifted. Only women remained. At that moment, those firing the bullets reached them. They pointed at Sanabar's mother and said, "Let this old woman cross the border, but stop these 2 girls. We need to interrogate them further." What happened after that is not fit to be written. The old mother could not endure this grief, but the 2 young girls, Sanabar and Golala, when they reached Azad Kashmir from the occupied valley, torn and broken, were in a pitiful state at the relief camp. The nurses and doctors there helped them greatly, but for a long time, they could not regain their senses. After a long while, they became able to tell others what had happened to them. When they narrated their story, tears flowed from the listeners' eyes. They said how even today, calamities befall women there. Brides are ruined, mothers' wombs are ripped open, and future freedom seekers are cut into pieces so that they may never demand freedom. God knows when the fate of that valley will be decided, and when peace and tranquility will be granted to its people.